Okay, so here we have a 1979 Husqvarna 390 OR. So if you know much about Husqvarnas, you'll know that the model numbers basically relate to the gearbox. So you've got, and the model numbers always come after the CC. So if you've got a 250 CR, it's a 250 close ratio gearbox. So that will be the motocross bike, and the 250 WR would be the wide ratio gearbox bikes. That would be a full enduro bike. And then they also did an in-between, like what I would class as a cross-country bike, which is an OR. So it's called an optional ratio gearbox. So that's what this is. This is a 1979 390cc two-stroke optional ratio gearbox cross-country. So as you can see behind me, she's not in the best condition in the world. She's a bit tired. She's been left outside, and she's probably done quite a lot of work in her time. She's 1979, so she's exactly the same age as me, and I would like to think that I look in better shape than she does, but maybe not. The biggest disappointment for this bike is the fact that it is seized, and there's no carb on it. It's got no plug in it. I suspect it's quite badly seized. What I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to take the exhaust off, which is an very easy job, and I'm going to look up the exhaust port, and I'll show you up the exhaust port, and then you can see what the situation is there. So if I can get a run seized easily, then I'll do that. I suspect that's not going to be the case with this bike, and as that would be the case, then I can't show you things like true gearbox working and sparking and all of those lovely things. So the only thing that I can do is I can take you around the bike in its entirety, show you like the condition of the wheels and the forks and stuff like that, as I would do normally, overall condition of the engine, and as you can see from the rest of it, it needs love, and then we'll just see what the situation is with the motor, and then you can take it from there, and you can make your own mind up as to what you'd need to do to unseize it, and maybe rebuild it. So here we go. So one of the first things that you notice about the bike, or one of the first things that I always notice, is the seat. So the seat is sunburnt. Basically, the sun destroys the seat cover, and then it starts eating into the foam. So that's what's happened here. Unfortunately as well, for this seat, the metal base, which these were, was rusted through. So this would need a new seat unit. It's missing the rear fender. Don't know what's going on there with my dogs. They obviously decided they wanted a little chat with someone. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the first thing. The next thing you'll notice, this tank would have been black. It would have been black with a nice chrome panel here. The chrome's not so bad. The paint's worn off, and hopefully you can see that it's quite rusted inside. I do sell a product called X-Rust 7, which you may be able to use to eat away at the rust on the inside, and then seal the tank with a tank sealant product. I did a video a while back about a QA50 tank that I was doing. So they're two main things. The frame number's fully intact. There is a Nova certificate to come with this bike. There's no US title for it, so to register it you'd need to get a dating certificate from an owners club or a Husqvarna importer. I'm led to believe that Husky Sport are no longer in business. That's who I would have normally advised people to go to, but there will be other ways or other dealers that you can get that from. Airbox is intact. It's got some nastiness in there. It's missing the little rubber boot. the carb's missing. The engine cases and the barrel and the head look to be in reasonable nick, and the frame itself also looks to be in reasonable nick. You'll see underneath there the crankcases look bang on. The frame rails, it's always this one that goes, because this one's slightly lower. It was put here to deflect rocks and things like that. That one looks okay. The brake arm, they always get this slight bend in them, the torque arm that is. That'll be easy to straighten. Front wheel, it looks a little bit tired, but it's an aluminium rim. It'd polish up, it'd clean up quite easily. The spokes, some of them are going slightly rusty, but nothing major. There's no dents in it. The front forks, there's a slight bit of pitting in there, but nothing major. And you can get them re-chromed, or you can get aftermarket fork tubes, or you could upgrade to a bigger set, which would improve the handling of the bike. I mean, if you've ever ridden one of these bikes, they are flipping super comfy bikes to ride. They're really, Husqvarnas in general, I find lovely bikes to ride. The seats are comfy. I know you shouldn't be sitting down, but we're all getting a bit older, aren't we? And that's what you end up doing a bit more. And I always find the suspension really nice. I mean, obviously it depends how well it's set up and stuff like that, but yeah. So the forks look decent. The frame again on this side is looking good. There's no nasty surprises. The foot pegs are intact and not damaged. The clutch cover there is looking good. Not a lot of wear, and it appears that you can select gears. What gears I'm selecting exactly without turning the engine over is very difficult to say. The exhaust pipe, no nasty dents in it. You know, if you blasted that up and painted it, it looked like brand new again. The silencer again looks to be in decent nick. Why they've put all this tape there, I don't know. Swing arm looks as though it's been outside a little bit more than some of the rest of the bike, and it looks as though the anodizing's been wearing off this rear wheel. But again, you can take that off and you could polish the aluminium up on the rim, and that'd come up good. The only thing would be, you know, what you're going to do with the hub. But the spokes look not too bad. Not sure if they were. I think they were actually. I don't think they would have had a gas canister at this stage. I think these are the original shocks. Disappointingly on this one, the shock shaft has gone through, so probably easier to replace them with a set of YSS or Falcon, or depends what you're going to do with the bike, really, I suppose. There's rear brake plates all intact. There's no chain on it. The chain guide is all there. So, I mean, you know, although it's got some negative points, this bike, it has also got some quite decent bits as well. So, anyway, back to the elephant in the room. Let me just pause this video and then we'll whip the exhaust off and let you have a look in there and see what we can see. Okay, I'm not sure how well you can see that. Just whip the exhaust off and a quick look in here. So the barrel is quite rusty, but the bigger thing that you can see there, that's the top of the conrod. There is no piston in there. So literally, someone's had an issue with the bike, they've took the piston out, they've left the plug out, they've left the carb off. That's probably why it's rusted up. And then now, it's seized. So we don't know what the issue was to start with. But what we do know is there's no piston in there, the barrel's a bit rusty, and the engine seized up. So it's definitely seized in the bottom end. So it's going to take a bit of work to get that freed up. You know, it's going to be a full strip down to free that up, and then whatever you do with it from that point. I mean, you obviously can fix these things. Bottom end seizures can easily be fixed. You've just got to take the thing apart, and then it'll be a new rod at minimum, probably a new crank, new bearings and this, that and the other, and then you don't know what other damage there might be until you get in there, really. So there we go, there we have it, one seized up and tired looking 1979 Husqvarna 390 OR. I'll be sticking her on eBay later on today, and yeah, you can watch the video and all of this, that and the other, and I'll be sticking it on at a fixed price for now, and then I may change it to an auction if it doesn't go, but we'll just have to. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.